retarded.
Yeah. That's how. I had mine going for a little while, voice memo for later, and then it was just like I'd have guests here and there, and then mostly I'd just be doing solo shit, and then like I stopped doing it. Like I just kind of like lost motivation, and I was like, I don't really have a focal point. It feels like I'm just like whatever. I felt like I was phoning it in.
Yeah.
But then like after I stopped doing it for a while, I like had thoughts building out. I was like, I kind of miss it, and I brought it back, like not officially, but just kind of like let me put up another episode.
Yeah.
And whatever, and so I think I realized that I like podcasting.
It's fun.
I gotta do it. It's like just a little extra outlet other than stand up to just kind of get thoughts out there.
Yeah.
You can farm it for stand up too. You can have funny thoughts sometimes or whatever. I don't know.
No, I really enjoy it. I'm glad you guys asked me to be on here. I was telling Matt as soon as I saw you guys post that episode. I think the first one I saw you guys post was the one with Tom. So and then I was like, oh, I'm glad you two were doing a podcast together because I'm like, that's a good fit. You two together.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. So
we're rolling, by the way. I started it a little bit. I like to sneak it in.
Oh,
just fucking, just
when we're here with the Delta 8 drinks, we're vibing the Zins, the Black Cherry Propel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All we're missing is that gun and lube, and we'll be good to go.
It's in my mouth, dude.
That's what I woke up to this morning. I was just like reading all this shit.
Just fucking. I want cocks in my ass, and you're like, what is happening right now?
Listen, I'm a very demanding podcast guest. Okay, there's certain things I expect when I show up. The cookies, good touch.
Yeah.
Good touch from the cookies.
Figured just throw that in there.
No,
it's not as bad as like the people that didn't want the green M&Ms or whatever, and their whatever bands those were, but
kill those people.
Yeah.
Why did those people should never have existed in the first? How were we letting people get by with shit like that? And I guess it's probably still people get by with shit like that today. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty easygoing. You know what I mean? I don't really.
I only had to go like 6 stores, so it wasn't that bad at all.
No, I was pissed all the way here.
You came in and you did a white glove test and everything. You're like, this is kind of dirty place. It's like, shit. The bathroom's clean. Everything else is clean.
I fucking stopped at the Casey's to get a Propel, and they don't have black cherry. Dude, Casey's sucks. I'm so fucking sick of the Casey's.
Yeah.
Taking over everything, and the quality just goes way down. We have, I'm from a small town near Cedar Rapids, Alberta, and they have this gas station that's been there for years, dude. Best food, best vibes, right in the center of town, and they're selling it. I know they're fucking gonna sell to Casey's. Good luck, dude. Good luck.
Right.
People are gonna revolt. Anyway,
Casey's is taking over. Yeah,
I know everyone talks about gas stations, dude. Whatever.
Yeah. You ever go to Hy-Vee Gas?
Hy-Vee,
out there.
I kind of I fuck with a Hy-Vee Gas. Back in the day, I merchandise for Dr. Pepper. So I would drive around all the stores and go and stock Dr. Pepper. It was fucking so dope. And I was whacked out on Adderall, dude. I got a concussion playing football, and it gave me narcolepsy.
Oh, yeah.
And so they fucking gave me Adderall to keep me up. Like, they're like, oh, you can't sleep properly? Here's an amphetamine. You'll be good.
Here's a ton of Adderall. You're going to come up with all these ideas.
So
you're just going to be tweaking all the time.
I would just be locked in on my shelves. They'd be so perfectly organized. All the labels out. Dude, I had the best looking
It's like you
shelves.
zoom out. It's just like this little section, but it's so immaculate. Immaculate.
And so then I would, because you're up all night from doing the Adderall, because you do the Adderall or whatever, and you don't eat, and then all of a sudden you hit like 1:30, and then you're starving. So then you hit up the Hy-Vee, the Hy-Vee Gas, and they got the Hawaiian King rolls, and they come pre-made with turkey and cheese on there, dude. And then you go over, you get yourself a roller grill item, all right? And then they're doing a deal with a bag of chips and a drink with that. So you
$49.
Exactly.
Right,
so you're doubling up. So you're just vibing in your Corolla in the middle of this Hy-Vee parking lot, just wondering, how did I get here, dude? How
am I going to get out of this?
Dude.
Just keep going. Just take a few more Adderalls and figure it out.
Well.
That's literally what it was, except for not figuring it out and playing games on my phone all day.
Yeah. Dude, Adderall's hard to kick. I kicked a nasty habit just a little bit ago.
Really?
It was very tough.
It's brutal, dude.
You take so many naps when you're like the first month. It's just nothing but naps.
Dude, in between you being like up all night, like trying to figure out nothing. Yeah. It's like you trying to organize the most.
It's like Beautiful Mind. You're just like,
you're so convinced it's productive. You're like, dude, no one in the world is stopping me. I could be president, dude. If I'm on Adderall, dude. Oh my God, I loved it.
The day you get a fresh script and you're on Adderall, I could definitely run for president that day.
Dude,
I'll be your VP, dude.
I got 90 pills a month.
Yeah.
90 pills a month. So
my God.
But here's the thing: I would run out with like a week left every month, 2 weeks. So I was popping 5 in my mouth and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
God,
If you had the pink ones, they tasted different than the white ones. I remember.
Yeah.
A little more sugary almost.
Yeah, you want the ones that taste good, but then you get to a certain point where you're like, I just want to be going as fast as possible. I don't care what this tastes like.
Oh yeah. I found out that if you did, probably shouldn't say this, maybe I'll bleep this out, but if you did like a Walgreens, they didn't have it because there was a shortage, you'd kick it off to a different Walgreens, and then that would be ready, and then the other one would be ready in like 2 weeks, and they didn't ever talk to each other. So you're just like, is the DEA going to be there waiting for me when I get there? No. It's like, no. And you're just like, maybe I am a fucking genius.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you're getting worried that the government's coming over you after some Adderall pills.
I like the
these?
idea.
No, I'm taking like 10 a day.
Dude, I like the idea of like a bunch of DEA agents busting into like a small town Walgreens and like, catching you.
We've been on to this guy for a while.
He goes in cycles. He gets 3 weeks on, 1 week off.
There was no trash on the streets one night. We knew something was up. He was out there cleaning.
You go back to my place, just like a mess of just shit like written on the walls, strings connected, everything. It's like I figured it out. Figured out how to do it.
But now if I take it, even if I take like half a pill, anxiety on 10, I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
I can't sleep that entire night.
Damn.
I go to sleep, my legs are like twitching and shit. I'm like, okay, how was I on that so hard? Like, how were people? My brother was a kid on Ritalin. So when I was like, I don't know, like 8, I think he got a prescription. So he was like 6 or 7 and a prescription on Ritalin, dude.
Yeah.
Locked in, dude.
It changed. It literally,
Davis Clark at 8 years old, 6 years old.
It was crazy because I remember at the time my brother always had like kind of anger issues when he was younger, and he was my younger brother. So like if as the older brother having to calm him down all the time, I was kind of fucking scared of the kid. You know what I mean? Because he had a temper.
All juiced up.
But then no, this is pre-Ritalin.
Okay,
then he gets on the Ritalin and dude's zombies out, dude. I mean it was so weird watching it. And so when my parents my parents went to prison, fucking my grandpa got him off of it immediately. Me moved in with my grandpa. My grandpa's like, you're not taking that shit anymore. Grades immediately went up. Like, how are we giving kids that shit, dude?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Healthcare industrial complex.
Yeah.
I think they're just pushing pills on everybody. They don't need it for sure. This is like, you just
there's
need
probably,
some,
I feel like with a lot of these medications, there's probably like, out of 100 kids that are like, that quote, need it, there's like one of those kids that actually it's going to be like a good thing for them. Yeah. There might be like 3 others that if you get the right dosage, it would be better than not. And then everyone else definitely would be better to not do it. And they're like, fucking give it to them.
Ritalin was the iPad of our generation. Yeah. Now they don't really need to give them Ritalin and Adderall. They just give them an iPad. Back then we didn't have screens. They're like, dude, you need to calm the fuck down.
Take this meth.
Yeah, dude. But then I started smoking weed after I quit the Adderall, and that was that's just so much better.
It's been uphill ever since.
Literally, my life's gone way uphill because of that.
Yeah. So you played football for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I played I played football my entire life growing up. Like a lot of boys, whatever. And whatever, I guess.
Boys or whatever.
A lot of young boys out there playing football in their little football pants. No, dude. And I went to a small town, so it's easy to kind of like if you're at least halfway athletic, you're gonna be better than most kids. Mm-hmm. And so then I did pretty good my junior and senior year, so I got a D3 offer. I had a couple different places I could have gone, like for smaller schools or whatever. Yeah. Went to the Wartburg, fucking whatever meeting day. I went there, whatever, anything. They're like, I didn't know, Yeah. My parents were in prison at the time, so I'm like, fuck it. And I went there, and I loved it, dude. I won't lie. I mean, it was a dumbass decision, spending all that money to go to one year private college or whatever. But I also get to fucking tell people I play college football for the rest of my life.
It's pretty badass, dude. What position were you? Linebacker?
Linebacker, defensive end, kind of.
Oh, nice.
I used to be like probably 50 pounds heavier than I am now.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I used to be a lot bigger. Then the Adderall app was because concussion, so I lost so much weight.
He's cutting.
But yeah, no, I loved playing there. It was a good time, but it was just another speed. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even though it's Division III, it's like I played 1A high school football in Iowa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the offensive linemen there are so slow and they're dog shit. If you're athletic, you can get by them and make plays, and that's what I did. Well, then I get to college and I played against like dudes who are 300 pounds. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And just getting worked, dude, every day in practice. And listen, I don't like not being good at shit and embarrassed every day in practice. So I got the concussion and I'm like, well, this isn't going how I thought it was going to go. I'm just going to be done for it.
Yeah.
And so I quit. And then I fucking joined a multi-level marketing.
Yeah, I remember you saying that one time. How'd that go? Was that pretty sweet?
Dude, it's so hard to even talk about because it's such a weird thing that happened to me, and I've never really met someone I can talk to about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know Summer, right?
Yeah,
she was in it too. So I actually knew Summer before comedy because she.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
What was the company called?
Amway.
Amway. Oh,
And here's the thing: I'm not even here to talk shit about Amway or multi-level marketing or anything. I'm just talking about what the fuck I saw, dude, and it was crazy, bro. So think about all the shit that was happening. I got a concussion, quit playing football. My dad's still in prison. I didn't really have like a dad figure growing up. So I have like no direction of like what I should do with my life at all. Like I have no idea. I'm just kind of going off the cuff. One day, two dudes that I knew kind of in high school showed up to my dorm and showed me this presentation about how I could make $100,000 a year by selling fucking vitamins and shit. I'm like, and convincing like other people to do it too.
Right.
I'm like, so easy. Everyone loves me. I'm the coolest guy in the world. Everyone's gonna want to do this, dude. And these guys are so good, bro. They're so charming. And especially if you don't have a male role model in your life, dude, that they got you, dude, because they start throwing the Christianity at you, and they're convincing. They're not like these everyday. They're like a mixture. They're like a mixture of like business guys and Christians that are just like, you're buying the product they're selling, dude.
Yeah.
And
like
you're
Mormon missionaries.
You're convinced you could. It literally is like that. It's like that. The whole business is a guise to get you into Christianity. But then the Christianity is a guise to keep you around longer in the business. Do you know what I mean? So it's like this kind of like catch-22 where people, they see the money, they get all hyped up. Then they get brought to this like conference that these guys would put on or whatever, these weekend 3-day weekend conferences. And on Sundays they would do church services, like full blown church services.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, and I'm talking, they were bringing up people who were successful in the business to like tell their stories and stuff. So like these people already looked up to these people, you know what I mean? Because they built a successful business. And then you get them talking about how fucking they got raped when they were fucking 16. Yeah, no, I know. But I'm just being honest. I'm just telling you exactly what the fuck would happen on these stages.
Yeah.
And you would get these girls who have never really, maybe they knew Christianity when they were young or whatever, but they kind of walked away from it during college.
Right. They didn't know this brand.
They start bawling their eyes out, dude.
Yeah.
And then at the end, the main guy of the whole weekend, who's like the top of the pyramid, he gets up and tells his testimony, and it's always the really his people in the fields, like the number one. And then at the end of it, he gives people like, all right, if you want to give your life to Jesus Christ, come up to the front of the stage. And you would have dozens, if not hundreds of people at some of these conferences running up to the front, crying their eyes out, dude. I did it. I went up there, dude.
You didn't want to be the one that did.
Well, I was like sleeping, and it was kind of like a hypnot. I remember the first time I did it because you do it multiple times because you want other people to see you doing it at the later conferences to know you're like really locked into the business. Like I'm really chasing after this new level in business, so I'm gonna really give my life to God this quarter or whatever, dude.
This quarter.
It makes sense.
So I remember the first time. I'm like, I didn't really want to go, but this is how they do it. You got to check out of the hotel room by 10 o'clock, and the church service gets over at 9:30. So the guy who got the room is going to be at the church service and is going to be gone and checked out of the hotel, so you have nowhere to go. So you might as well go to the church service. And you're falling asleep in the church service, but you kind of hear what's going on. And it literally puts you in like this hypnotic state to where all of a sudden you wake up and everyone's crying and running towards the front. And you're like, I'm a lemming, dude. Let's get up there. Let's send me up there, dude. And so that's how they hook you in. And then afterwards, it's all just, hey, if you hit this level in business, you get to go to this cool little meeting that no one else gets to go to. Yeah. It's a lot of like going through those steps or whatever. And it took a long time to work my way out of that, dude. Like 4 or 5 years, I was locked into that.
Did you make some good sales though?
No.
Oh.
I think 1 month. I made like $500 or something.
Yeah.
But his relationship to God was really up on some of those quarters,
well,
man.
here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. It wasn't. Because at the same time, that's when I'm doing the Dr. Pepper merchandising and being blown out on the Adderall. So I'm like reading like how to win friends and influence people and like a Panera bread. You know what I mean? Waiting for someone to come in and like talk to him about selling laundry soap, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I met a guy at it was through a friend, but I met him at like a Jimmy John's or a Subway. We didn't buy food. We just sat there in the corner.
Yep.
And it was the perfect water. Was it Perfect Water Amway?
Yeah, Perfect Water. Actually, I fuck with Perfect Water still. Listen, they have great shit.
Yeah, it makes you stretch. I remember the guy I didn't know was like, all right, bend down, touch your toes. I like did it. And he's like, take a sip of this now. Now do it. And I go like a little bit further. And I was just like, I remember looking, I was like, see how good that is? I'm like, yeah, it's because I already went once. He's like, no, it's the water. I'm like, I looked at my friend. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing,
dude? Actually, so that's funny you bring that. There's actually a secret to that test. Like, you do it differently in between steps when you're showing it to them. Like, you have them do it differently, so it happens.
Yeah.
Like, you're setting up them tripping and doing that.
Dude, it's just like, it's fucking magic, but designed for like to get to like trick people and make money. It's 3-card money. That's basically
it is 3-card money.
Yeah.
It is
perfectly designed.
How can I always win this scenario?
Yeah.
And it is designed to always win, because here's the thing. Then they get you to the point where if you leave, you're going to be ostracized and no one's going to talk to you, and everyone's going to be like, whoa, hey man, what happened? You know, and anytime you run into someone down the road, it's always like this weird interaction. You know, some of the people, because I keep in contact with some of the people from the business who I that's the thing about it, dude. They're just people who are in the system that has created this weird like world that they now live in. But like when you talk to those people as individuals, it's not crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it's like when you're in that environment and you guys are like pushed towards those rules, dude. They would have it to where like you have your downline, right? The people underneath you.
Right. So
like you have the guy at the top and then like 2 people underneath him. Then the people underneath those guys are like recommended to not really talk to each other, because if you share negativity cross line, that could affect your upline's business. You know what I mean? So there's all these like weird
Scientology.
It's very much like that. So then to go even deeper, I mean, I'm kind of just fucking talking about this shit, not even giving you guys the opportunity to talk whatever.
No, this is good.
Yeah.
I like this.
So then you fucking... Oh shit! Where was I going with that? God damn it!
Can't talk to people because it's negativity.
Yeah, in so fucking, I don't know, dude. It was crazy. It was just like constantly all these like little rules that would build up to the point where you didn't even know how to fucking behave around people, dude. And I definitely see how it changed, because then you go out and you're like looking for, because you burn through your A list, right, of all the people you know, and you ask them to like be in the business. Yeah. Then they convince you and teach you how to like go out and meet strangers and like set up these accidental situations where you accidentally run into people, and then you can present yourself as this like business guy who's a part of this like super fancy business association. It's so crazy, dude.
Where the practice is like, can you help me get my cat out of the tree? It's like, no, I can't reach it. Try this Perfect Water.
Now try it.
I got it. Got it.
Dude, I love that fucking idea of like having someone do some basic thing and then telling them to drink a thing, be like, immediately after, now try it. Like it's gonna like even if it worked, the idea that it would have taken effect already, now try it.
You're at like Subway at 6 p.m. on a Friday too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, where the fuck are we, bro?
No, you gotta have those things though.
And the origins of this company is the real crazy one. So the owner, the current owner, is the son of the guy who invented it, like who started it back in the day,
Mr. Amway.
And so his son is married to Trump's former like Secretary of Education, the boss. Her husband owns Amway. So you have, then on top of this, you have all these weird political connections that the people in Amway have. Going back to, so you guys
Eric
know
Prince, the brother.
You know how who's Eric Prince?
He's owner of Blackwater, founder of Blackwater, the seal. Like
and you're related to him?
They're brothers, brother and sister Betsy DeVos and Eric Prince are.
No way, dude.
How does the family connect into this? You guys I haven't seen it. There's a thing on Netflix called The Family or something.
Oh, that, yeah.
And it's like about this like religious group that's like supposedly been like attached to all these different administrations throughout the years, like deep state shit or whatever.
I know some connect. Listen, I know, because here's the thing: you stay in long enough, and even if you don't build your business to a certain level, they trust you. All right, so you are getting into some of those meetings that you're not supposed to get in, even though you have the size because you've been around long enough and they like you.
Yeah.
So then you start hearing stories like, so you remember when Mike Huckabee won the Iowa caucus how many years ago?
I met Chuck Norris with him.
Oh really? They were all together.
I got a card signed by Chuck Norris. I showed Austin Engels when we were talking about it. Dude, Mike Huckabee keeps being brought up in this podcast.
Really?
Yeah, sorry.
Well,
go ahead.
Fuck Mike Huckabee. I mean, I don't know. Like, what they did was when he came to Ames to do his like caucusing or whatever, because that's a big moment for like for candidates, especially early on, to like win Iowa. So all the Amway people, they really wanted Mike Huckabee to win. Yeah. And before it was like, you know, all the Democrats, they all have all the young people and they would hype on that. Well, they had a bunch of Amway people show up to this Ames caucus meeting and all these young business entrepreneurial type or whatever. Right. And it like surged Mike Huckabee like right there at the beginning, and he ended up winning Iowa. Yeah. Is that because of the Amway people? I don't know, but I know they have like a lot. All those guys they know Mike Huckabee. They're in with him and they're setting all that up for the looks. To go back even further than that, you guys, so Reagan, he had a guy in his administration who was like one of his advisors. Mm-hmm. His name was Doug Weed. He was a diamond in the Amway business, which is like a millionaire level in the Amway business, dude. Yeah, so you could keep going back. Before Reagan was actually like in a position to win the election, because before then no one really took him seriously and all this stuff. Then the Christians like kind of really got behind him, and that's what like surged him to win the election. Yeah. One of the first they used to have these. They still do these big Amway meetings or whatever, where like it's stadiums and it's like people, they do speeches or whatever. Yeah. Back in the day, they were even bigger. I'm talking like 100,000 people in an arena. Right. And they announced Ronald Reagan's candidacy at one of these meetings, dude. And from there, he fucking blew up, dude. Wow. And I don't, listen, how provable is all this shit? Like to say, oh, this is exactly what I did. But the fact that even though those stories are like floating around there or whatever, you're like, these people are insane, dude.
Yeah. I'm convinced.
I'm convinced, too. Yeah. They got me. I mean,
drink all that Perfect water.
Excess was their energy drink. That was the big one. Excess? Excess. They had 4,900% B12. So you had people just on like 30,000% B12 of their daily servings in these meetings, just fucking shaking. Like, I'm gonna be a millionaire one day.
Hell yeah, dude. One day.
You have like fucking election water, and you have somebody run for president, and it doesn't work, and you're like, drink this. Now try it.
Try this.
Oh, dude.
It does sound a little bit like comedy, though. Not just kidding, but
kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first came in,
it's just how you said the. Not
the pyramid, you talking about the connections or whatever?
The connections, stuff like that. I mean, just as soon as you're getting into open mics and stuff like that, it's kind of like you get picked up by somebody, kind of like you got a person and then But obviously, you're not just stop pyramid scheme. But
no, when I first,
but kind of though,
because it's still it forms a similar environment. You guys aren't there, and it is. It's maybe just not as direct. You know, you get to a point in comedy where you like want people to like you because they want you to book you. So you kind of have to play the game a little bit. I mean, I don't, because I fucking like everybody. I don't give a shit, dude. Chill. I don't really care. But you see that happening, and when people are just like position themselves weirdly, and it does create like a weird culty environment. So when I first started doing comedy, I'm like, oh, is this the same shit? Is it the same shit that I was fucking in? I'm like. I'm like, is everything like this? Is everything? But I think it is. Everything is kind of. I think everything is kind of a little bit like that. So that's why I started out saying like, I'm not even following these Amway people. I really don't even give a shit, because everyone falls into their own culty.
It's like the whole it's the community. It's the everybody has to. There's this intense like need to fucking belong, to be in the in group. Fucking VIP treatment, that like psychology of like being the chosen one, being special or whatever, fucking gets in your head. Like I remember I went to a friend's wedding in Mexico, and we went on like professional bar crawl type thing, where like this company, like this guy goes, and he fucking like was just getting drunk and hanging out with us too. It's pretty cool. But he like took us around to like all the hottest places in Playa del Carmen, and like we had like the first place we get to, like in every place like this, basically you get over to some back table and you have bottle service, and you just feel all of a sudden you're like, I'm Usher.
Yeah.
Right? You're just like,
it's all you need.
Yeah.
You need a little bit of like, oh, they're separating me from the rest. I'm in. Dude.
Yeah.
I'm totally.
It is all coming true.
Yeah,
I am the fucking man.
Yeah.
I'm glad somebody has finally honored me.
Don't give me a little bit of power, dude. I'll switch up on you guys quick. That's why I fucking am a hermit at my crib all the time, because I'm like, I can't handle that power. I just need to be at home all the time.
That's funny.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. So.
Well, that's it.
Yeah. Hey, that was a great podcast.
Yeah,
good talking, guys.
But we kind of started talking about like when did you first get into comedy, then what made you kind of get into it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I tried doing stand up. So I moved to North Carolina when I was like 23 for a few years, and I tried to do stand up for like 3 months before I did that. And I had hit up the Penguins open mic, and then I did Yacht Club back when Joystick was Yacht Club. Okay. And it was okay. Like I had no idea what I was doing. And then when I was at that age, I definitely wasn't listening to anybody tell me how to do anything. So I wasn't taking any kind of advice from anyone. And there were maybe a couple sets where I went up and I'm like, oh, I could tell people think I'm funny. But then there are these moments where I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing up here. Yeah. And then I just look like a bumbling idiot up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I knew it was something that I could do, like I could maybe eventually one day do, but the person I was at the time was not ready to do it. And then I moved to North Carolina, then moved back to Iowa, and then I started doing stand up about 1.5 years ago. But I've wanted to do stand up my entire life. Like in high school, I was always the guy emceeing all the pep rap. You know, even though I played on the sports team, I was the guy like hyping up everyone for the game and shit. Sure. So. Like our Palms team did like a competition at our school, I would MC that shit. Like anytime there could be like that kind of a situation, I definitely was wanting to be on it. And it's because growing up, my family is so sick, dude. I have the coolest family in the world. My parents, you know, they're really young. My mom had me when she got pregnant when she was like 19, and then had me when she was 20. Okay. My dad was 18, 19, somewhere in there. And they just, you know, we listen to 90s rap. I mean, a lot of the 90s cultural shit like really hit my family hard. Fuck, what were we talking about? Why is my family cool? Right before this, fucking.
You talked about the pep rallies.
Yeah. And so like, there's a lot of performance-based like people in my family. Everyone's kind of like quite a character and like really is trying to. You really have to fight for attention in the family, like, and to be the one talking, because everyone wants to fucking talk in the family. So I don't know. That came with them also liking comedy. Like no one was a comedian, but everyone like Eddie Murphy Raw was like playing in the background when I was like 6 years old.
Right.
There was they didn't care what movies or anything were on like around kids at all. Because my mom has 5 other siblings, and they happened every 3 years, and then I was born 4 years after that. So like my uncle's only 4 years older than me, you know. So all my aunts and uncles are like older siblings to me, if that makes sense.
Right.
So they treated us like, you know, like that. So we got in on his family growing up and about how crazy it was with his dad and stuff. I'm like, a lot of people hear that and they're like, whoa, that's a crazy life. Like, don't relate to it at all. Yeah. I was like, oh, I could do that. Like, I'm like, I could talk about my family like that, the way he's doing, because I come from like an insane family also. And so that's like what really my entire life would stick out in my head. I'm like, God, what, seeing him in that fucking leather suit, dude, up there, just like going to work. I'm like, I want to do that one day.
Right.
I don't know if I'm a leather suit comedian now, but
you can fucking try it.
I think I could.
Yeah.
I think I probably could.
With the haircut,
you came in with the fucking haircut last time. I'm just like, I'm a different person
now.
He's been undercover this entire time.
Yeah, I'm not going to be pigeonholed by the comedy community, dude. Yeah. I see what happens when people kind of start going through the steps of comedy, and then they allow themselves to kind of get pigeonholed into a certain kind of character. Yeah. And I don't want to do that. I don't even know what my comedy is yet. So I don't want to like give myself any kind of label before I even figure out what that is. And people definitely use long-haired guys as like a character for their lineups.
Right,
It doesn't even matter how funny you are. They just put you in there because you got long hair. Yeah. And so I don't like when that shit happened.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they liked me too. I don't know. I'm fucking...
You're a likable dude. Yeah. I like your comedy. It's funny.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're
that.
one of the funniest people I met here.
Damn, dude. Stop. Don't do that.
All right. I just remember the first joke you said was about the Bodhisattva.
The Bodhisattva.
I always get those. I'm like, holy shit, this dude gets at the mattress store.
Dude, yeah, dude,
I was just like, fuck yeah. This is hilarious.
I sold mattresses in New Jersey for... Well, okay, so
you went to North Carolina?
Yeah, I went to North Carolina.
What did you do
there? When I first got there, I got a job at this landscaping company, and it was like this 20-year-old kid who owned this landscaping company, dude. And he had nobody except for this other like total worthless worker, dude, named Brandon. I mean, he literally, I had to pick him up for work sometimes. Like, it was a disaster. And so it started off like that, just these awful jobs. Like, one house, we couldn't use any power equipment because the protected trees were behind it. So we had to build a retaining wall up and wheelbarrow rock down into it, one load at a time, up and down in 100-degree weather, August of fucking... Anyway. Yeah. So I'm working for that guy, and he ends up making me a fucking foreman.
Hell yeah, dude.
Of the company, dude. He's an idiot. Here's the thing. I'm a great laborer. Like, I'm a great second hand. I'm a guy who can show up, and I know enough to where you don't really have to worry about me, like, not knowing what you're trying to do if you're leading the situation.
Just tell me what to do. I'll do it.
Exactly.
That's all I want to know.
My grandpa fucking was a psycho, so that's where that came from. But I'm not a foreman, dude. I'm not reading engineer plans. Okay, I'm not the guy that you want who's going to be in charge of making sure that the retaining wall doesn't have just like 2 feet of water behind it. Okay.
Yeah.
How does drainage work?
Exactly. Literally. So I'm working for this guy, and he hires on a couple other dudes, and one was this dude from like New York. His name was Sean, and his son Sean Jr., and they were fucking from New York, dude. So from New York. And he knew what he was doing. So he's like, you're the foreman? What the fuck is going on? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. Every day I would tell him, like, dude, you should be doing this. So I kind of made him the foreman after a while. Like, I kind of made him do all the shit. Then one day, the owners were like, hey, it was right before Christmas. They're like, hey, we're going to fire everybody and then hire a bunch of Mexicans to finish off these jobs we have because it's too expensive. But we want you to stay on as the foreman. And I said, are you going to pay these guys? And they're like, no, we're going to have to wait to pay them because we don't have the money. And I said, well, then I quit too. So I fucking I literally walked off the job site and went to a job interview for a car dealership, Apex Imports, which this place was this could be in a sketch comedy show. I mean, it was the craziest place I've ever worked. And I've seen other car dealerships and how they operate. This place was crazier, dude. It was ran by a bunch of Arab dudes who fucking were just... So in Raleigh, there's like probably 12 dealerships that are a pyramid scheme. You know what I mean? Where you have like the big dealerships, then you have like these smaller used dealerships that all these guys are in bed together. And then underneath them, they have like 10 more rock lots that are like these shit cards or whatever, and the guy at the top buys them for the auction, and then they make their way down to what lot they're gonna go on to or whatever. And they were just the coolest people ever, and they didn't give a fuck about like rules and shit. So like you could kind of get away with a lot. So we were getting high out like on the fucking we had a little golf cart we would take around, and we would just smoke weed on the golf cart all the time, eating edibles. There was one time I took a Xanax at work, and dude, I never really I don't take Xanax. I'm not a Xanax. I'm not a pills guy. I'm not. I know I did the Adderall, but I'm not a pills guy. And I was about to sell this truck to this dude, and I'm like, thinking by the time he's done, I'm gonna head home and be good to go. I black out before the end of the deal. I completely backed out because I took a full bar. I don't know how to do Xanax. I have no idea. So I'm blacked out in the middle of this deal. My buddy Manny, shout out to Manny. He finishes the car deal for me. He like
driving the truck is leaves.
So what does the guy say? We were passed out. He's just like, don't worry about that guy.
I wasn't blacked out like where I was falling asleep. I was blacked out like I didn't know how to get around. I mean, I
thought you just passed out. And it's like, don't worry about that guy.
I hit a point where I don't have any memory of it, so I did literally black out. Yeah. So he finishes up the deal for me, and the guy's like, where's the other guy? He's like, he's going to get it washed up for you. Coming up with whatever he can. And so they ended up finishing the deal or whatever, and we're going to leave, and I'm like, I can't get all the way home, but I'm like, Manny, let's go to your crib. He had a pool in his backyard. I'm like, we'll just go kick it and vibe.
The best day ever,
dude. They didn't realize how fucked up I was, though. He realized that I was kind of fucked up, but not nearly the condition that I was in. And his dad had this like 1986 like BMW like manual shift. I don't know how to drive manual, but I convinced him to let me drive it to his house. So I'm blacked out on Xanax trying to drive this, and apparently I just fucking the entire way home, dude. Blacked out, don't remember it. So worked there for a while, sold cars. It was a good time. I really loved working there. The pandemic hit. I started making some money, more money than I'd ever made selling cars because I was pretty good at it. So I bought this fucking Audi, which so dumb. 2019 Audi A5, a $26,000 car that I could not afford. Pandemic hits. No one's buying cars anymore. Hard to keep up with $600 monthly payments on an Audi when you do that. So then, you play the game of the fucking, at night you watch the tow truck like go back and forth down your road, you know what I mean? And you'd have it hidden in the garage. And then until one day, you just are so tired and you just leave it in the driveway and you're like, you win, dude, whatever. I got nothing for you. I got nothing, dude. So around this time, so then shortly after that, my ex left me. I'd been dating this girl down there. She left me, which probably rightfully so. I mean, she kind of sucked, if I'm being real. But probably rightfully so, leaving me at that time. So then I start working at this mattress store, mattress firm. Shout out mattress firm. And that's the best job you could ever have, especially if you smoke weed, dude. You just literally get to lay on mattresses all day. You go to a month of sleep school of like learning how to like what mattresses are. Yeah, I'm a sleep expert, by the way. They call it. Dude. You introduce yourself as a sleep expert there, by the way. So that eventually, with any job, you kind of get into the groove where it's so easy you don't have to think about it. And when it got to that point, I would like challenge myself and see how high I could get while I was at work. And so I'd be like ripping the pen, and I just got into sports betting because New Jersey made sport. Okay, back up. I worked there for a few months, then moved to New Jersey with my mom before moving back to Iowa. And I sold mattresses up in Jersey too. So now I'm selling mattresses in New Jersey to these fucking New Jersey people who are insane, dude. I mean, like Sally V with the big chains coming in paying cash. You know what I mean? It's insane.
Least favorite people. Least favorite state.
They're the worst, dude. But I don't know. I back and forth because
stereotypes of them I don't like.
I didn't like them, but I do like how honest they are. They're just right to your face, dude. They don't give a fuck. So I would challenge myself to see how high I could be at work and sell mattresses. And I would like be fucking blown out of my mind some of these days. But then I would wait till the rainy days to go all out. Because if anyone has worked in retail, they know like rainy days, nobody really comes in. You can kind of just like really hang out and chill out. So I would take like high dose edibles on the rainy days. I would look at the weather and be like, thank God no one's going to be in today. It's not like a holiday weekend. People only really buy mattresses on like Memorial Day. You know what I mean? So most of the time, dude, it's the best. You get to just lay down on mattresses and vibe. You do have insane people who come in there. But anyway, but you'd be blown out on just like a high dose edible, and a lady would walk in from North Carolina or New Jersey, wherever you were at, and you'd have to then sell them a mattress. So you're going, and so the joke was he was bringing up the Bodhisattva thing. A Bodhisattva is like someone who has achieved enlightenment, but like has decided to not take full effect within the enlightenment to help other people with their path to enlightenment, if that makes sense.
Sure. They've gone to the forest and they come back.
Exactly. And dude, that that's literally what you have to do. You're like an existential ecstasy where you're like, literally, I figured it all out. I know exactly how I'm supposed to live my life. And then you have to sell a fucking Tempur-Pedic to Betsy from fucking North Carolina, dude. It is the most insane thing in the world.
The duality of man.
That's really what it is, dude.
You're just like tripping, all of a sudden you hear like the doorbell come in. It's oh shit.
To retail. You have to go from that to sell it retail, dude. Where you're like
some chick that comes up with like papers, she's printed out her information, she knows. Dude, it's like, you're the sleep expert.
And then you gotta fuck it. Yeah. She's asking you all the questions, keeping you on your toes, and it's like, dude, come on. Are you a side sleeper or back sleeper? That's all I really know. What to go. Do you want this pillow or not? All right, like it's $100 pillow. I bet I could sell it to you. But yeah, so I've done a lot of different jobs in my life. I've with the long hair thing, kind of short. I've always liked to switch up the vibes, dude, because I want to. I don't know. You see so many people get stuck in the same loop all the time, over and over and over again. And dude, I don't know. If my life was a little bit harder because I want to switch things up all the time and I can't be on like a consistent path, I'd rather do that.
I guess you know what? Now that you say that, I do I can vibe with that idea of like switching it up or whatever. I guess I've kind of done that most of my life too, with all my weird hobbies and stuff. Like I phase in and out of like, skateboarder, basketball player, speed cuber, like just juggler, and like there's different outfits that almost go with those things too. There's different ways of talking to people, right? You're like code switching, like outfit. Just switching between different dialects almost.
I'm stuck on you basketball, Zach, right now, actually.
Oh yeah, he's there.
White chocolate.
You would play basketball?
Yeah, well, I mean, like as a hobby.
Really?
I played when I was like, in fourth grade, but then like when I like, I don't know, middle of college or something, I kind of got back into like playing. Like I haven't for a while, but I used to go to like Coralville Rec like pretty like weekly, and I'd go and play pickup.
I bet you're actually kind of nice. I bet you're real nice. I bet you have a nice shot.
Jason
I'm not
Williams.
bad. Yeah. When I get going, I have a bit of a hitch to my shot, and I always like fade a little bit when I'm shooting like mid rangers. So I always like, I've noticed that like people, I wanted to correct my shot at one point because I'm like, it's kind of like a slow release. It's not that good. But then I realized I'd hear people talking, and I realized like, oh, they can't block my shot because I fade and it pulls back behind my head. Like nobody can reach the ball. So the only one that can make me miss the shot is me. So as long as if I get on fire, like I'm just good,
especially
dude.
around the league. Space. Yeah, especially the leagues around here. You don't have some like first of all, zero black
when
guys.
When you play against like a real dude, like there was this guy one time I played at like it was the campus rec in Iowa City, and there was this guy who probably played college ball and is like 6'4" or something. I go at one point, I go to do my thing, I fade, I hitch, and he just reaches and bap, like over my head, just slaps it out of my hands. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
And there's the reality of why you didn't play in high school. Oh, dude. Sports are fun, though. I never played basketball, and I'm starting to get into basketball now. Before all this Caitlin Clark shit. Last year, because of betting, I got big into because of betting, dude. I love it.
Hard not to.
And I wrestled in high school. I went to a big, like, wrestling. I mean, a lot of the schools in Iowa are wrestling schools, but, like, we won state my senior year. So we were, like, a legit, really good wrestling school. And for the longest time, I'm like, fuck basketball, all this stuff. Because it's just, like, the tribal warfare of, like, small town Iowans. Like, it is crazy.
Well, basketball and wrestlers never got along. Never. The same, always dying for court time and all that.
Dude, we would walk in because their practices were in the main gym, and our wrestling room was like kind of like back down another hallway, but then all the locker rooms were in the main gym part. So we'd come from it and then go into our locker room. They'd always be finishing up practice. We'd be coming out with our spandex looking fucking ripped. And no offense to our basketball team in high school, they suck, dude. So you have the state champion level wrestling team walking through, and then this like fucking 500 basketball team. And when you're in high school, dude, there's nothing that makes you feel better than that feeling of walking. We would fuck all of you up right now. 14 of us versus literally 60 of you. You're toasted. But because I was an asshole like that and had a fucking massive ego, I never really played basketball growing up because I thought it was gay. If I'm just being it was fucking gay. And so, but now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, maybe it's not gay.
Wait, was wrestling the gay? Were the wrestling gay?
But I justified it because I'm like, we'll fuck you up.
We start thinking like the spandex and shit. Like, holy shit, wait a second.
You're grinding and getting hard, but you're like, but I'm going to beat this fucking guy's ass.
And when I get up and get my hand raised, my dick's going to look huge in the sink. So fucking, basketball is definitely something I want to start playing again, maybe in some rec leagues eventually. But I'm big on the golf right now.
Ooh.
Okay.
My soon-to-be father-in-law. I'm getting married next Monday. Yeah, thank you guys.
Exciting times.
Yep, dude, getting laid.
Hell yeah.
But he's a
Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. This is where you end up.
No,
you don't want to end up here, dude. Zach, this is for you too, Zach.
I know. I wonder if the people at home can hear the echo of your sad apartment.
Trust me, they can.
He's got a bunch of dog food on the floor. I don't see a dog around.
That's just mine.
She took it. She took it in the divorce.
We had Roke here for one podcast. He was kind of ruining everything. So
it's true.
Oh, I did hear the pup in the background. But no, yeah. So he hurt my father. He's actually close to retirement. So like I have young parents. Hannah, her parents aren't necessarily old. They're actually she's Korean and they're all super healthy, dude. They came from Korea. They eat so much better than us, dude. It's
on another level.
Him and my grandpa are 5 years difference, and my grandpa is dead. My grandpa might as well be dead right now compared to him. He's still out golfing and stuff. So he's about to retire here in the next year and a half, and it's on for me and him in golf. Like that's all. He doesn't. Hannah doesn't have any brothers, so so I'm like, I'm over there all the time. Like we're really close. So he's like going all in and wanted me to learn golf and play golf. Right. I still suck dick at it right now. So bad at golf, but it is. I get why people get so locked into it. Especially for dudes who like want to. Because dudes, as we get older, we just want to kick it with each other. We just want to hang out and find an excuse to like kick it and just talk shit and have fun. And it not only that, but then you're doing that while you're trying to get good at this very specific thing where you have to very specific movement, and everyone can kind of give their own opinion on it, and it's everything you want. And just hanging out with dudes, you get to throw a zen in a couple. I'm smoking a joint out of the course, you know what I mean, having a good time, hitting the one. He's probably I'm gonna be respectful, you know. A joint's gonna leave a little too much scent, but the one no one's telling. Even the car
pin seekers yet?
No, all I've been doing is hitting the range, dog. Nice. I mean, that's where I'm at right now. We went last year one time.
Pin seekers, the golf, the range.
The interstate. No, him and I want to go to that, but he's locked in. He wants to be out on the course. Like that's the level he's at. But me and my buddies, we want to go there. So maybe it's a bunch of us comics go out there and film like content out there. That'd be fun sometime. Push Ben off into the net. Wait till you see that guy's haircut. Shout out to Ben Woodfield. Ben at Benny Dubs, whatever. I don't know his Instagram, but we love Ben Woodfield. He
sounded looking like a coke dealer last night.
He got
the picture on the.
He got a haircut, dude.
Something. Yeah.
He shaved the sides of his head so it's like a mullet kind of.
Jesus Christ.
And he shows up to
dealer. Yeah.
He shows up to Jake Trumper's wedding in this like blue blazer with he looks so fucking.
He had a chain on?
Yeah, the 2 chains on.
Call him 2 Chains.
Oh, I love Ben Woodfield so much.
Phony.
Him and I, we have some. I think Ben and I are gonna end up doing something together because we have like little sketch ideas that we like that we want to do together, and I don't want to give away because there's one we're really gonna do that. I'll talk to you guys off the podcast, see if you guys like it. But I like the community we got around here. You know, it sucks that we're losing guys like Ingles. And is Vaughn staying in town? I know he's 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with him.
I love that guy, Zach Vaughn. You guys should look him up. He's a great comedian in Iowa. Dude, I'm just having a lot of fun. You know,
it has been a lot of fun. Yeah.
You
just like seeing everybody come together because everybody brings different things.
Right.
You see like David Collins is.
I love David Collins, dude. Yeah. I love David Collins. And every time I see him, he literally just because he's doing something here. The Iowa scene, it seems like we all have to work really hard to get in front of decent crowds because of just how the crowds are around, especially Cedar Rapids, Iowa City. And that's on us. We have to like stay fresh and like bring new material and do stuff. So seeing someone like David Collins come in and like with something that's just a little bit different than what everybody else is doing, nothing makes me happier than being around that guy. Just because he makes me laugh so hard. His brain, it's someone who walks into an open mic and their brain doesn't shut off. Yeah. You guys talk about David Collins on every fucking podcast episode too. Oh, dude.
I started running a clips page for him, or a reels page on Instagram for him.
You and these Instagram reels pages.
Is this the thing where
remember when I told you to do the Matt Shanes?
Yeah, dude.
That was the first. I did the first week I told you about it. I got up to 17,000 followers.
That's crazy.
Pumped. And then I switched over to David Collins' his reality show.
With the same account?
Yeah. People were getting pissed. All the comments were like, "What happened to Matt Shane secret podcast clips?" Like, I was like, "Dude, just what is MSSP anyways?" Guys?
They're watching. Yeah, they're watching that, and then just this guy with shades. You guys see these napkins? See these napkins on the table? That's the problem with them. It's like, and he goes, "This fucking weird."
I see that first reality show like probably 10 times. It's so funny every time. And he's coming out with episode 2, 3.
Just on the middle of the stage. Time for a game. We're at an open mic. We're doing games right now.
He walks up. Oh, didn't see you there. Oh, just kidding. Yeah. I'm on stage. Oh. Too funny. Oh, I love that. It's like it's more spread out. Yeah. Definitely like between Waterloo, but it's fun to go to all those different places and see everybody. But like Dubuque's got a certain vibe. Davenport.
Need to get out to the mics more. I hit the ground running really fast when I first started comedy. When I from the jump, I started going to open mics, and then soon after, Haley, shout out to Haley Haley Rosendahl.
Yeah,
my bad. Whatever, dude. Yeah, I was thinking when I first started. All right, okay.
Yeah, the bitch with pink hair. Everybody knows.
Yeah, the lady with pink hair. She gave me, dude. She was so good with me, dude. If I'm being real, like watching, people call her the Mitzi Shore of the Midwest, and I'm not trying to like hype myself up or anything.
Right.
But coming into comedy, dude, I get so nervous before I perform. You guys know this about me. I mean, I can't even talk to people when I'm out at open mics because I'm just so in my head. And I think she recognized that I could do well, but I was so in my head all the time.
Yeah.
She was very good at giving me little opportunities to like build up to a point to where I felt comfortable on stage to where I could start actually like doing shows and doing different things like that. And there's a lot of that around here. Like there's a lot of good support around here. It's just making sure we have like the right shows for people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when I was doing that, I was putting a lot of work in and doing a lot of shows and different things. But then I got to a point where I was just like doing shows. You know what I mean? Just doing shows to do shows. And I wanted to come up with a new material, but I was so like, oh, I have this really cool, like I'm going to do Red Room this weekend, so I want to have a really good set. So then I'm like trying to force things, you know what I mean? For these cool shows that I want to do, because I was pumped to be on them, you know what I mean? So when you have these shows that you're excited to be on, you want to like bring it. But at the same time, I'm new enough to where I'm like, I know I need to be like trying different stuff right now. Yeah, exactly. And so when it kind of got into that, it really kind of became overwhelming to me to where I kind of like stepped back. I stopped like reaching out to anyone for anything or anything like that. Just showed up to, the couple open mics a month. But now I'm kind of back into a place where I'm starting to feel really comfortable on stage and just like, I don't know, everyone intimidates me. I don't know if you guys ever get this feeling like
even the people the shit on me.
Even the people you see every week, dude, I get intimidated by them. Even fucking someone like Kiwi the Clown.
I'm terrified of clowns.
You fucking like I just don't like talking to anyone because I'm like I don't know. I get way too in my head, and I want to make it about performing. And I know that there's gonna be times where like this, where we're gonna meet up, and you guys are gonna see that I'm not a total fucking paranoid schizophrenic dude, but.
Same.
Yeah, dude.
I'm just kidding. Zach, now you gotta say it.
Yeah,
say it, Zach.
No, Zach's crushed it. He fucking opened up for Wee Man, dude. What the fuck? When that happened, dude, I was like, "Fuck this guy. Fuck you, dude. I'm not even happy for you. Fucking piece of shit." Like that should be me. No, when I saw you got that opportunity, I'm like, there isn't a better comedian in this area that they could have got to open for Wee Man than you. And I truly I believe that in my heart, like 100%. Because I'm like, out of everyone in our community, he's the jackass kid who grew up, like legitimately.
Yeah, I grew up skateboarding. Yeah. All my comedy's just fucking weird. Yeah. Like I'm fucking doing yo-yos in the court. Like I'm just, it's like, of course, this weird fucking kid, like,
is in with the jackass. So dude, I was so pumped when I saw you got that. And I don't, because at this stage in our career, what are those opportunities going to be more than a story? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like right now, they're just an awesome story. Will it turn into something one day? Cool. But if you think about it like that, then it gets weird. You know what I mean? Where you're sitting at home waiting for like Wee Man to randomly Instagram message you.
Come with us. Hey, you're just planting seeds out there. You're just throwing them out there. They grow. They do.
Shout out to Tim Dillon. So another guy that I love is Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon's one of my favorite guys. I was raised by an Alex Jones uncle. Yeah. Okay, I have an Alex. So when my parents went to prison and we were living with my grandpa, every 2 weeks we would go to a different aunt's house, and my uncle was living with his sister, my aunt. So we would go. Okay. He would be over there, and literally like we were at an altar at his knees while he like was watching Alex Jones videos on dual screen monitors, like just, and this is like the mid 2000, late 2010, somewhere in there, like 2009, 2010, somewhere in there. So this was before Sandy Hook and all that. So no one really gave a shit about Alex Jones. He was just going, dude. He was just
never stopped,
dude. And
it's so funny.
So and he was all fucking loaded up about the fluoride in the water and shit. So I've been hearing that shit.
Turn the frogs.
Dude. And I don't even know where I was going with that. Fuck, dude. I'm always doing that. That's why I was saying smoke weed, dude. You just start going, it's gone.
Dude, the hardest I've ever laughed at Alex Jones was he was on JRE one of the times, and he was like, I don't remember what they're even talking about, but he's like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of retarded.
I'm just a little retarded.
That's what happens when you talk about Alex Jones. You're like, oh, I'm also retarded. No, I remember what I was saying. So Tim Dillon's, that the reason why I like it so much is it's so much of like that ranting is like almost cathartic to me. Like it's very soothing.
Right.
And I went to his River City Casino show, and I was an usher there, like kind of just working the door or whatever.
Yeah.
And I took a picture of him on stage saying something dumb, like, so glad I got to open for Tim Dillon. And he fucking followed me afterwards on Instagram. And Dude, I was shitting. He's one of the guys. He has an interview or a podcast with Ari Shaffir called "The Death of a Salesman," where he talks about him getting out of sales and into comedy. And I listened to it when I was working at Mattress Firm before I started comedy. So there's when I was, I talk about Eddie Murphy, but like when I started comedy, it was all Tim Dillon. Like that was like a big influence of mine. So having him follow me, I'm like, do I message him? I'm like, because you know what I mean? Because he just followed me. What am I going to do? I'm just not going to say anything. So I did message him, and I fucking went for it. I said, hey, if you're ever in Iowa again, you need someone to open up for you, dude. Like, I'd love the opportunity. And he goes, I'll check some of your stuff out. I sent him one clip, and then that was it. I backed up, not messaging him anymore. But I think that's... when you meet someone who's like way further down the path than you in comedy, that's as much as you need to talk to them. You don't need to be hitting them up. You don't need to be
where you're at.
Exactly. Like if I don't hear about that at all, you know what I mean? But he better fucking reach out one day, you son of a gay motherfucker. No, I love him. He's so funny. He's just like he's what I think comedy is. You know what I mean? That's right.
Everyone has that person that they're like, this is what comedy is.
Nothing. That is just to my branch, because my grandpa's a Fox News guy also. So I had the Alex Jones uncle, I had a Fox News grandpa, and that is what dialogue was growing up. Irish Catholic family, so everyone's always debating politics. Then my parents go to prison, so I'm at a young age. I'm like learning like laws that might help my parents get out sooner. You know what I mean? So when there's a chance for your parents to like get out of prison 2 years earlier, you're like locked into legislation that's getting passed or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was at a young age, I was thrown into like the world of politics and like questioning the king and like going after shit like that.
Right.
And I think that's eventually what my comedy will become. The reason why I don't do a lot of political shit now is just I'm too dumb. You know what I mean? I know as much as everybody else, but like I don't read enough. You know what I mean? I don't do enough of that shit, so I don't want to put myself out there like that yet. But I know I like political comedy. That's definitely a route I want to go down one day.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, for me, that the person that was like my awakening into the world of like I always liked comedy and stuff. Like from when I was a kid, I had like I asked for. I was really into like the Cosby Show and shit. I would tape it. I would fucking VHS, like I'd record episodes when they were on.
No one said
save
that in 15 years.
Yeah, super. And so like my mom got me Bill Cosby
great
himself.
Influence, dude.
He's kind of a pill guy. He's a little bit of a pill guy.
Yeah, a little bit. She got me Bill Cosby himself as a stocking stuffer. So that was like the first special that I watched. Yeah. So I was like, I've always kind of been in and out. Like I liked comedy stuff, but then like as an adult and like really getting me in, like diving headfirst into comedy was Louis C.K. And that's like that's my North Star. Like this is what comedy is, or whatever. Yeah.
No, I love Louis. I love. I don't know if you've ever seen him and Matt's. They do like a history podcast together, like breaking down the president.
I still haven't watched all of it, but I saw bits of it. Yeah.
It's so funny. When you have two comics talking about history, who knows like what of the stories are actually like real and verified or whatever. But even if like 10% of the shit they're talking about through the presidents are true, it's just like they do such a great job at like, hey, dude, these are the actual people we came from. Like these are the actual like morons that brought us to where we are today.
Yeah. I love that.
I had some protesters at my job on Friday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. So I work. I don't want to give it too specific. I work for we sell stuff to the military. Let's just put it that way. I work for a weapons manufacturer. Here's the way I like to look at it. I'm the guy sharpening spears back in the day, okay? I'm not out there throwing the spears, you know what I mean? I'm just the guy, and I just make a radio, you know what I mean? I'm not doing anything too crazy. Right. It might go on some wild stuff, but here's the thing. if you ask my political opinion about like the wars going on, I don't like war. Okay.
Yeah.
But I also live in a town where one of the only businesses is a weapons manufacturer. So if you want to make decent money, you got to work there. And dude, whatever, dude. They put my parents in a cage when I was 12. All right. I don't fucking give a fuck what anyone has to say. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, the protesters showed up, and it's like the protesting group that just wants a picture in front of like,
right.
We have a pretty famous building, and they want a picture in front of that. But they were holding signs like, "You guys kill babies."
Hell yeah.
Oh, but my issue with it, dude. Here's the thing, because I made that joke a lot when I first started the job. Like that's what I do for a living. I was like, kill babies. Which whatever, dude. It's like, fucking climb the tower of every other industry. You kill babies too. Okay.
Amway.
Yeah, killing babies.
Somebody should have showed up outside with a doll, like with like a knife.
But here's my issue with them. All right, they show up after our lunch period, so no one's out for lunch anymore, and then they leave before we're off work. Hey. Have some fucking balls, dude.
Yeah. And like, confront us. Like, let's talk.
Because here's the thing, I more so agree with them. Okay, on if anything, I'm not trying to give an opinion on the war right now. I don't think it's okay to bomb Palestinian people. Okay, I don't think that's necessarily.
Get out. We've had enough of this.
I don't think that's controversial to say. Okay? I don't think that's like a crazy take on it, but. It makes me hate them of how performative they are, dude.
Yeah,
it's like you don't give a fuck about those kids. You don't. They don't, dude. Yeah. They just want to show up with a sign. They want an Instagram picture. They want to tell people they were at the protest. You know what I mean? And they don't actually. And they're yelling at a bunch of people who are just trying to pay their bills for their kids. Right. Do you think if that business wasn't there in our town, that
the war would just crumble?
Exactly.
Like there'd be no effort. It's like there'd just be another place. By fault
of any of these people. Do I wish that they would make more shit for just regular planes, like commercial planes? Yeah, that would probably be a little bit more fun to work on. Okay, and I wouldn't have to, hate myself every day when I go into my job. But I don't know. It was so funny to see him. It's like, have some balls, dude. Talk to me. And because here's the thing, I just want to talk shit. You're right, and I even agree with you. But I want the confrontation. I want there to be something. And no one was out there, dude. Not even one guy.
Look me in the eyes and tell me I've killed a baby.
Yeah, and guess what? I'll say, yeah, I have. Yeah, I have.
I've killed 3.5 since you stopped me.
Before I started working here. Anyway. But yeah, dude, dude, it's a little fishy what's going on there, right? You know what I mean? You have like
the start of World War III.
Yeah, you know, like it is and kind Iran's of. What are we doing, dude? Like, I don't know. Cheap gas would be great, though. You know,
I could fuck with that.
Yeah, dude. So
sometimes I kind of fantasize about like working for like some really bad company, like making bank. Just 'cause I like the idea, because I just don't have money, and I'm like, that's the one thing in my life that's like fucked up, is like I don't have much money. So I'm just like, dude, I would totally fucking just work for some asshole that's fucking just killing babies, doing whatever. I don't even make
that much money. That's the shitty part about it, dude. I could get a job as like a DoorDasher and make as much money. I don't know. It's I also had this like when I first started working there, because I was real hippy dippy at that time, because I was doing a lot of drugs. But so I was like way blown out, and I'm like, what if I become like a double agent? Like I really figure out what's going on here. So like
I look them all off as they go out.
You're like looking around, you're like, one day, what piece of information could I withhold to like bring this place down? And then you get there and you're like, oh, nothing. They don't tell us anything. They don't give us access to any information.
We do get bagels every morning, though. That's pretty sick.
Not anymore, dude. It's fucking, because a bigger company that I'm not going to name bought out our smaller company, and there's way more rules, dude. So no more fucking donuts, no more cookies. It's whack, dude. But I'm making it through, dude. They let me watch. I literally just watch anime on my phone all day. When I'm working, I have it in my little drawer going. I'm watching fucking Demon Slayer, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. Signature to the man.
Yeah, fuck them, dude. I've watched so many seasons.
Dude, there was like a while back, a couple years ago, this person doesn't work there anymore, but there was this person in my job that like, she was like in middle management, and she like apparently like went on this tirade about people having their phones out like at the desk and like watching stuff and whatever. And she said people are on. She said at one point, she's like, people are on their phones 6 hours a day, and she claimed that like she's talked to people or whatever, and people have like said this or like they're whatever, and I'm like, do you really think? Hang on, like I know that we don't do math here, like there's not a lot of math going on, but like if we're working 7.5 hours and you're telling me that people are on their phone not doing work for 6 hours, how is all the work getting done?
Yeah, literally.
That doesn't even make sense. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I think it's because we're becoming so... They've gotten us so good at using the phones.
Yeah.
It's because you're doing it both at the same time.
Yeah, it pisses them off that you could be like happy while you're like doing shit.
Yeah, because they're doing their thing and they can't do the phone at the same time, so they get like, you know what I mean? Where I'm fucking, so our shit's based off like percentage productivity or whatever, and we need to be at 80%. Your boy's hitting like 110% every month.
Right.
Locked in. No one's giving me issues. That's why I can sit there and watch my phone all day and no one's saying a fucking peep to me. Because I'm like, here's the thing, the way they have our brains working right now, if I didn't have that phone all day, I wouldn't be able to I wouldn't be as efficient as my job at my job. That's the crazy thing. I would be worse at my job.
Because your brain needs it to like the fucking endorphins and the dopamine,
I need to be
whatever.
watching crackheads get arrested all day on body cam video. And if I'm not doing that, I'm not going to be able to fucking get my job done.
Well, it goes deeper than that. There's a lot of people that if they're not watching crackheads getting arrested on YouTube every day, they'll commit suicide.
Literally,
they're like, this is the only thing giving me life.
I'm not even kidding you. I could believe that because they're so soothing.
Yeah.
It's so nice to watch. So, dude, my favorite ones are the shoplifters because they're so like. They know the game so well out of every other criminal. Like in every other crime, because in all these crimes, a lot of the criminals act similar when they get caught because it's just they're the same kind of people. So they say the same shit. They have the same script they run down when the cop's talking to them based off the crime you commit. Perimeter they can walk in and out of like when they check out. So the second the cop like picks them up, they start dropping all this shit of like, well, no, I wasn't past the point of sale, and actually, no, I have it on my app. And here's the thing, the payment just didn't go through on my app, but I have the payment set up on my. They have all these excuses of like what they know can kind of get them out of it, dude.
Right.
But they don't realize that the cops sitting there thinking, oh, the only people who know this shit are people who fucking steal, dude. No one else knows that you can't go past the point of sale except for someone who fucking steals, dude. And it's just, they're always all so on some sort of amphetamine and just going, dude. And they put up,
it clicks for them.
They put up so much of a fight, more than anybody. No one fights more than a shoplifter. They are refused to go down easy.
You seen the one with the mother and the daughter?
I've seen a lot of them with the mother and daughter. That's like that's a pretty routine situation. Is a shitty mother getting her 19-year-old daughter roped into shoplifting at Walmart.
Oh my god! Yeah.
While her 4-year-old daughter sits in a hot car outside.
Yeah. Is there any good mother-daughter videos? Because like a porn video of a mother-daughter is terrible. Oh, dude. That's absolutely terrible. Well, shoplifting's terrible.
Depends how deep you are. You know what I mean? In the porn hole.
Yeah.
As long as I know they're not really related, you can say they're related. It might make it a little bit nicer. Because I know they're not related. They're not actually doing that. You know what I mean? Unless it's like really grainy video, and then you're like, they might be really poor. They're just really poor right now. Why are there stains on the mattress? Okay.
Yeah. You see some videos pop up. Yeah, the quality's bad. There's no like you realize they're not like monetizing correctly, right?
It's in Russian. It's in Russian.
And it just says something about like I fucked my cousin. I'm like, I think that might actually be your cousin.
They have no idea of the algorithm. They have no understanding of like the porn algorithm. So they're just uploading into the ether, being like, all right, if I fuck my cousin, there's no way it doesn't get 100,000 views. And imagine you fuck your cousin and there's 607 views on your video. That would be the worst, dude. Oh fuck.
Ooh.
Some of them probably already been doing it to get famous online or anything to get traction. They're just like, I just want to show my buddy. Like, look how hot she is.
Dude, that's sick. That's my line of morality. It's like, you're not making money off of it. Ew, dude.
Wait, you're just doing this for the love of it?
Yeah, the love of the game, bro. Come on, dude.
Oh my god.
How long do you guys go for? I'm not in any kind of
whatever rush, happens. Dude. Yeah. I always got those important appointments at Joystick. I got to make sure I get there on time. You know what I mean?
Make sure you got to lay it down for the people. What are they going to start at 10:45 tonight or what? I like Joystick. Here, you want to know how they revolutionized the Joystick open mic?
What's that?
Stop letting people walk in and out of there whenever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
If you want to have comedy in that basement, you cannot have people walking in and out. And I love that room. I like the people who run it. I like all that kind of shit. I like the vibe of Joystick. But it's gotten to the point where they don't care about it. You know what I mean? If they,
I know what you're talking about now.
So I would go to Joystick more, but it doesn't seem like I don't know the owner. I don't know the owner, and I'm not even trying to talk shit about the owner right now. But it's like there is no like intention that is going on with the open mic right now.
Yeah,
and it's such a good room when it's good, dude. It really is, man. And I know they moved. You guys said they moved like some of the games out of the way and stuff.
Yeah, they moved. They've done this a couple times, but this is the biggest, I guess, sort of facelift they've done inside, where they have a bunch of booths now.
Yeah,
along the wall, which somehow looks like it wouldn't work, but actually usually works pretty well because people flock to those fucking booths and they sit down and then like. They're like, so here, they're like here, like, and then the stage is right there. And so there's like all these fucking booths of people. And then it's kind of like you're fucking just firing down the barrel, right? So you can kind of just get them right there. It's easy to kind of bring them in a little bit, like compared to how it was before. But.
No, yeah. And like I said, I do like that club. And I think it could be a good open mic, but we just they got to do something about the flow during the show times. You know what I mean? Like that's not too much to ask. It's like for an hour, can we just not have anyone come through that door?
Yeah, where are they going? Where are they coming from?
There's too much. They're going studio.
Yeah, the studio.
There's too much of a. They have to commit. And that's the problem is like they're too much of like this is a gay bar fucking there's like the drag shows and whatever and then they're just like oh and we do comedy down here and there's like too much of a flow and connection between those places when they don't really go together at all.
And that's they like their karaoke stuff, but stand up isn't karaoke. You can do that with karaoke where people are walking in and out and doing that because at the end of the day the person on the stage has a group of friends there with them and they're just like vibing and hanging out. But the stand up dude, it doesn't have to be all the way in the back. People can talk, you know what I mean? But sometimes people see a comedian on stage, they sit at a table right next to it, and then they're just there with their friends.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't know. I think they'll do something with it eventually, and it'll get out of that vibe. But I don't know.
The thing that Joystick has going for it that I've always liked from the first time I went up there is the vibe as a comedian coming into the place is fucking cool.
Yeah,
it's like the fucking it's like the fucking cellar and places like that where you're going downstairs into this fucking room and it's like
short ceiling.
Yeah, it's the vibe about it is so fucking cool. They just diarrhea all over it.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I personally, if I don't know who's really trying to be that person who's pushing shit forward there. I would love that. I would. I don't know. You don't ever want to overstep and like talk to somebody like, hey, do you guys want help with this or whatever? But I don't know. I think if we can get a group of us going again and in promoting it the right way, getting it out to people because you just need people to show up at the end of the day. And a lot of the stuff they promote is for the other parts of their business, which is fine. That's right. That's the thing. Their other part of the business is doing great. You know what I mean? Studio, I think that's why they don't care as much for stand-up is because that part of their business is doing great. But I just think it's a point where they could really amplify the vibe in there.
Yeah.
They got 30,000 college students right around them.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's no... Have you guys been to Karen's open mic?
I haven't gone yet. No.
I went last week.
You did?
Willow Creek, yeah. Okay, it was pretty cool. I've never been there.
Yeah, no, I like the room or whatever. I missed the first one because we were up to something, and then I was going to come to this last. I've got excuses for why I got excuses for every open mic. But I'll probably start. I'm gonna start making my way back to Iowa City this summer a lot.
Cool.
The Joystick mic and the Willow Creek mic. And
you gonna promote your mic then?
Yeah, and then if you live in the Cedar, we're in Eastern Iowa. We're doing a open mic at MoCo in Cedar Rapids. It's like an arcade and hot dog bar. It's a pretty cool vibe. We did the first one this past month. It's the first Monday of every month. We'll do it there. It's presented by the Lucky Cat, so Haley's promotion. And so our first one was we did it during the Iowa LSU girls basketball game in the Final Four, which was so dumb. We started at halftime, and right when the game started back up, there was someone was on stage, and they literally yell out. This old dude in the back yells out, "Enough! The game's back on." Dude, it was so fucking funny, bro. Dude, so they were like booing us at one point. It was, but we eventually got them. Zach Vaughn went on stage, and when Vaughn went up, they kind of like quieted down and started paying attention. But then after him, I don't want to say what up. Anyway, I don't want to do it even bogus, but it was just it was a tough room to get him working in. Yeah. But I think outside of that game going on, it's going to be a great place for comedy. Their stage is really cool. The room's set up cool. The manager who is running the place really likes the idea of doing comedy there. So nice. Yeah, Mondays. Right now, I think we're just doing in-person sign-up. So it starts at 7. Show up at 6:30. You can sign up there.
Is it? I thought it was. Is it once a month or
once a month? Yeah. Okay, every first Monday.
Yeah. I can't wait. I want to go to the next one for sure.
It's going to be good. I promise.
It's like fucking, I've walked by that place a bunch of times. I've never been there, but it's like literally, it's like walking distance from my house. So I can literally just fucking walk down,
it's
do
such
the mic.
Cool spot, dude. I really think it's going to, I really hope they give us more than one opportunity a month to do it. I hope it goes to 2 times a month for sure. That'd be cool. Because I think, especially with colleges and Mount Mercia right around there, I think with school starting back up next fall, it's going to be even crazier. So.
And then dude, fucking, because Iowa City, I don't know, whatever, people got their own shit going on, but I feel like there's enough of probably a lack. I just feel like I've never gone to those schools, but like just knowing the Cedar Rapids area, it's like there's probably enough of like a lack of cool things going on that I bet you if you fucking like hit the campuses hard with fucking promoting it, I bet people would fucking think it's cool and come down.
No, I
bet they dig it.
That's what I'm kind of hoping on. Yeah. And I think that will happen because, shout out to Haley for making me the host at that open mic. I want to take a lot of responsibility for it. Hannah's going to make a poster for it and everything. Shout out to my
she's fucking awesome.
Soon to be wife, Hannah. If you guys ever need any kind of poster for your fucking comedy show or whatever, hit us up. She can make you one. She's the best in the game. That's a fact.
Yeah. They're all cool. They're all very cool.
And actually,
I like your storytelling ones.
Those are fun. Her and I collaborate for those ones. Nice. I really enjoy doing those ones with her because it's like I give her a little bit of an idea and kind of like a vibe, and she's like, "Oh, I really like that." And then you just going back. It's fun having a
you're like, I'm the director.
Yeah.
Really?
No. I listen. I'm a creative too. She's hyper creative. You know what I mean? She's like, it's hard to even. There's no one I know. It's almost weird living with her sometimes because everything she touches is that quality of doing shit. Her flow is on another level. Check her Etsy. I wanted to shout this out too. Check out her Etsy. Etsy.com/song ceramic. We fucking are poor, dude. So fucking buy something. I just wanted to get that. Shout out to my beautiful fucking soon to be wife, dude. I can't wait to fuck you later.
You're gonna fucking dude.
Oh, dude,
you're gonna get in there hard. It's gonna change when you're married because you're like, this is the thing now.
Well, it's God now accepts us. Maybe we'll have a kid now. Hopefully God is okay with and it would probably shock people. I am pretty spiritual, like not like I like even like the idea of God that doesn't freak. Kind of do I pretend God exists.
Right.
You know what I mean? I definitely pretend God exists. Yeah. So it is kind of a joke about the marriage thing, but I do kind of believe that a little bit. Like there's our relationship, because if you're locked in and you're paying to like attention how shit works in your own life, it seems like the more direction we kind of go in that way or whatever, things work out better. And I'm not talking like a Christianity God or anything. I'm just talking like trying to align yourself with this feeling that you have inside of you that's like kind of got a little bit of a rhythm to it. You know what I mean?
To the point where you're like, you're God.
Yeah.
You're your own God. Praying is thinking. Like
when
you pray a lot, you're just thinking about what to do. You kind of figure it out. If you're like, not aligned, it's like hell.
Yeah, I have noticed that. Like, I remember at one point in my life, I realized, and I never really I don't know, I didn't assign any huge meaning to it. Like, this means a certain thing. But I just noticed that, like, the idea, I guess, fucking, the meme version of this, like the joke version of this, is the movie The Secret, where it's like, oh, you but the idea behind, like, the realistic, like, regular parts of it, of, like, trying to, like, put out there to people, like, this is the vibe that, like, this is what I'm trying to do, this is what I like, if you communicate out there enough, you put your message out there, it will come back to you sometimes, just because people want to connect back with you.
Right.
And I noticed that at one point in my life, where it's like, every time that I've, like, wanted to do something where I was like, this is a thing I want to get into, this is what I would do, I always would end up just meeting the right people to, like, get me into a situation where I could do it.
And they're people who want to help you. You know what I mean? Because everyone who's in an endeavor wants to help other people within that endeavor too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's your fear that stops you from getting into the endeavor, not realizing that those people are on the other end of it.
I've always thought that fucking, I don't know, related to this, like, I hate when people, like, when you're trying to, like, do some ambitious thing, like, let's say you want to be an NBA player, and then the people will be like, the statistics of, like, how few people blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Because first of all, you're selecting from a huge range of people where, like, 99% of those people are fucking losers who are going to quit when it gets tough at all.
And they don't have the intention to make it to that level.
Yeah, even. So it's like, so you can already remove, like, most of the people you're even talking about. And now the odds, I don't know what they are, but they change drastically from what you said they were before. Like, I fucking hate it when people do that
haters,
shit.
Zach. We call them haters.
Yeah, those fucking haters.
Those fucking math haters, dude. They fucking apply math to it, and then they hate you with the math.
And then you get into it, and then you start realizing, you enjoy the steps of it, like the process of it, and that becomes more about it. And then that's how you start doing comedy. You realize, I'll do this for free, and then people take advantage of you because
you're just like,
it's not the destination.
I just love doing this. And they're like, well, good news, we can use you. We'll fucking just come on your face, and then you can do jokes. And
oh God, and hopefully it works out, dude. Because if it doesn't, I'm gonna have to fucking work for a weapons manufacturer the rest of my life and justify my existence.
So what are your, like, big aspirations with comedy then? What do you want to do with it? Do you want to, I mean, if you don't want to answer, you don't have to, but
I'm still kind of figuring it out for the most part. I mean, genuinely, what would make me happy is if I could make $50,000 a year, and that be like a job that I have for doing stand up. That nothing in the world would make me happier than that. Would it be incredible to sell at MSG and do all these cool things that you get to see these top comedians do? Of course, and I think. If that should maybe even be your North Star, so that when you're going down the path, maybe you follow, wherever you fall along that path, that's cool. But, like, I don't know. I made this joke the other night at the open mic, but, like, if this whole thing pans out to, like, a weed sponsorship one day, you know what I mean? To where, like, I get free weed for the rest of my life. Like, I don't know. My life has been so chaotic, and there's been so, like, I haven't had control of my circumstances so much that I think I finally have a control of my circumstances in my life, and I every day am very happy and grateful. I wake up and I've really figured my life out a lot of ways compared to how I used to live. Like, I know how to do so much more shit than I was able to do before. So I don't know. I'm not looking for anything in life. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where it seemed like a lot of the comics of prior needed comedy to be able to live a functional life. You know what I mean? And I don't think I fall into that category. Stand-up brings tremendous joy to my life from being able to, like, come up with a thing that I've gone through and being able to communicate with it on stage. And the more times I try to communicate that on stage, that means there's that many more hours of me sitting there thinking about the shit that I went through. You know what I mean? And you're working that stuff out. And so to me, that's the gift of stand-up. It's like just being able to work through your own shit and then put it into a way that I think is funny, and then have people receive that and they think it's funny. Yeah. Dude, I don't need much more than that. Like, again, like I said, give me a weed sponsorship, give me, a 50, 60 grand a year for the rest of my life. Hannah, she's building her Etsy page. She's an incredible ceramicist. She's going to hopefully have a kind of a similar artistic life path like that. And if, we're making $150,000 a year cumulatively by the time, whatever, we're vibing. You know what I mean? Her and I were not very materialistic.
There's a lot of fucking people that, I like that you said the $50,000 a year type of thing. There's a lot of people that I think get confused when it comes to, like, any of the arts, where they think, like, either you're a failure or you're a millionaire. And it's like, there are people like the thing is, most of the time people don't know they're there because they've never heard of them because they're not the millionaires so that are in the fucking news and shit. But there are people in a lot of these creative fields that like fucking they grind every year and they put together what ends up being a full-time job and they make a living, and it's not amazing. But like they're doing shit they love.
It's the freedom.
Which is amazing.
The Amway equivalent of that is a level called platinum in their business. You get like basically 50 people underneath you.
Yeah.
And you make about 50 grand a year after all that with the bonuses and all that shit. And then you don't have to work a job anymore. You know what I mean? You're making 50 grand a year and you don't need to work a 9-to-5 job.
Right.
I want to do as much stand up as possible, but what holds you back is the amount of time that I have to put into my job to make sure I'm paying my bills and do all that stuff. If I could do that. Now, eventually, you get to that point, then you're not, humans are never satisfied. You're going to want to push the envelope.
Right.
But right now, that I'm not trying to pretend that I'm this guy in comedy that has so much material who can go and do. I know exactly where I'm at. I know my exact level of where I'm at in comedy. Yeah. And I'm not trying to like fool anybody. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm pretty open with how fucking terrified I am and how I have no idea what I'm doing.
How did you pull it off well though? So
I tried. Well, thank you. It means a lot. It's fun having you guys around because we have so many guys who just give a shit, about doing camp. Because when I see you guys do new bits, then I'm like, fuck, I got to come up with something. There's like enough competitive edge to where we don't hate each other or to even dislike each other, but we also like are pulling for each other. And
what it's like? Comedy, like when you get into a good comedy scene, it's like fucking skateboarding where you're at a spot and there's a bunch of dudes trying their trick, and when somebody like you're at the spot and somebody fucking like switch tray flip something and you're like fuck, and like everyone's like slapping their boards on the ground like in applause, like it's just everyone's just stoked that somebody landed a new thing they're trying to do. That's comedy. Like the new bit happens, it kills, and it's like, dude, that was fucking. And
the older people recognize the level you're at too and praise you based on your level. Like you see a kid at the skate park who all day has been just trying a kickflip on the ground all day. Right. He's been running around to the older guys being like, look at me, and he doesn't hit it, and he doesn't hit it, and he doesn't hit it. And by the end of the day, he finally hits this kickflip, and the whole park goes nuts, dude. Yeah. That's like watching Ben Woodfield do comedy. But, oh my God, Ben didn't harass an audience member. He told a joke and it got a laugh. Fuck yeah, dude. Oh, I love Ben.
Ben's great, dude.
No, I like the way you guys put all that though. Kind of. Yeah. Because you guys are farther ahead than me, and that's nice to put myself in perspective.
It's just
and all of us being older too, I guess, is probably a big help too.
I think so too. It seems like a lot. There's a lot of people on our scene who started stand up a little bit old when they were a little bit older, and I don't know. All the comic stories I hear, everyone started at 19, 20, 21. And there's so much life you have to figure out at that point in your life that they are training themselves to how to be an adult through their comedy. You know what I mean? To where we took a different life path, to where we had some life
have all these experiences, and now we're talking about it.
Exactly. Yeah. And so then it becomes just about getting over, like figuring out how you want to express yourself on the stage. You know what I mean? Express yourself where, when you're younger, you're just trying to figure it out. So that's why I see an advantage to us. But the great thing about comedy is you still have to like do the same shit everyone else did. You know what I mean? Like you still, there is a process. How quickly you go through that process is like dependent on how many mics you're doing. You know what I mean? And
can I share a win for me then?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I got paid last night for a show in Des Moines. $60 for 10 minutes.
Hell,
$750 grand a year, dude. Hell yeah. No. That's what my brother texted me. He's like, dude, you're making almost $1 million a year. I'm like, kind of.
Shout out to Matt. Super I don't know if you guys know who Matthew Douglas is. He's funny, dude. He's kind of a weird guy, but he's
shaved head.
Is he the asexual dude?
Is he asexual?
Is he an esports coach?
Yeah,
that's the guy. Okay. That's what he said, I think, one time.
I could definitely see him being asexual. Dude, I'm going to be real, even if he hears this, I don't care if he hears this because he's a cool dude. But when I first, I have an aversion to some types of people sometimes, and it just like, it's a me thing, and I've always recognized it's a me thing, and I like really try to like, all right, Zach, it's you right now. Just slow down. Yeah. And for a long time, I was just kind of like, what is up with this guy? Like, I couldn't really figure him out. But he grinds so hard in comedy. You know what I mean? Like, he's always putting up shows, and I did a show for him, and he paid me $75 for 15 minutes, and I'm like,
hell yeah,
dude, I'm like, even though he's a good dude within, you know what I mean? That's what comedy's taught me. You're gonna have a lot of different personality types, but at the end of the day, it's how someone treats you within comedy that you need to be talking to them off of, because there's so many people who are negative in comedy who want you to like just get into a shit talking train with them or whatever. Yeah. And as comics, it is fun. We like talking shit just because it's like a skill of ours, and it's just like a muscle that we can kind of fall into. Yeah. But like, I'm not going to be the guy who's not going to go do a show with someone because of how a friend of mine feels about them within comedy, dude.
So, dude, if I had fucking done that, because you know how many, and a lot of people that talk to me, I love those guys, love those gals, whatever. A lot of people hit me up when I started going to Tom Garland's mic, when he started that up, and they're like, fucking Tom Garland, let me tell you a story. And there was this energy of like, I'm going to help, I'm going to teach you about this guy so you don't have to fall for those pitfalls. But I'm thinking like, I've never heard, like, this guy has always been good to me. And I'm also thinking like, this is back in the day. He went to Vegas and did shit for a while, and then he's back now. It's like, you guys know that people sometimes do change, right? Like but anyway, it was like, if I had fucking listened to all that bullshit and was like, oh yeah, you know what, you're right, fucking whatever, I never would have done the fucking Jackass show.
No, exactly. Like, and I'm not into. Yeah, I'm very much about how you are treating me right now. Now, if someone treats me poorly, then I'm quick to burn a bridge. I'm definitely quick to hold a grudge. So I get why other people hold those resentments and those feelings, but I'm not. Until someone does something to me, I'm not, because
someone does something like really fucked up.
I come from
intentionally
the world of like criminals and drug dealers and stuff who get these labels put onto them. Yeah. But you actually know that person, they're a great person, and that, like, they got just caught up into some shit or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know, judging anyone off of like moments in their life or whatever, I've never really vibed with. And as comedians, dude, we're fucked up. We have we
are shitbag people,
and so for you to sit there and talk shit about how someone else is fucked up, it's like, yeah, dude, fucking hold up the mirror, dude. Yeah, all right, like you're
projecting.
I've had to talk to you in the back of this open mic every week for the past 3 months, and I want to shoot myself, dude. Like, you're fucking, you're so autistic. So I don't know. I think that could hold people back a lot of times by falling into that trap, wanting to be cool in comedy. You know what I mean? And like wanting to be like I don't know. What do you make the social club of comedy more about it than anything? And I've never really, but there's not a ton of that goes on in our scene.
No, you can kind of like, sort of like, I don't know, you can kind of look the other way a lot of times and not have to like deal with it too much. It's just kind of, it's happening there in the corner. Right. If you want to look at it, it's there, but you don't have to like.
No, exactly. And as long as you're showing, my thing is, if you have like material you want to use and you're showing up to the mic like wanting to go, you're not thinking about anything like that.
No,
You're not in your head thinking about that shit at all. Maybe when you've been doing it long enough, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But in my opinion, you're kind of on autopilot at that point. If that's what you're falling into.
Well, the thing I like is like being older. You've already had that drama in a different workplace or, you know, a different time of life. It's like, I know what that is. I'm not bringing it here.
Right. That's exactly what I'm bringing
my
best
self. That's a great way to put it. It is all about like, I've recognized it. Like everyone in every endeavor does this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And so
sorry you had to see that. That was the other name for our shows.
Oh, sorry
you had to see that.
That's a good
for people. Name. Yeah, if you want to like get into this fucking thing at the ground level and be a real fan, you'll know that Pardon My Growth is the normie name, but the real name is Pardon My Growth. In parentheses, sorry you had to see that.
So, okay, I like, well, first of all, I think the concept, because you're saying like, oh yeah, dude, I was a fucking idiot. Sorry that I did
piece
that.
Of shit. I fucked up. I bought a fucking Benz.
Yeah.
That's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
I have a truck and I feel so much better about myself.
I miss my Audi so bad, dude. I drive a Corolla that was missing the front bumper that I got from my former heroin uncle, from an heroin addict uncle, the Alex Jones uncle. He used to do heroin. I mean, obviously, every Alex Jones guy used to do heroin. He's such a funny drug addict, dude. The way he talks about the other drug addicts are that I want him to.
He's got to figure it out.
He's such a herb. So my Uncle Scott is the shit, dude. He fucking so he is a heroin addict for years or whatever, ends up getting picked up for selling heroin. But when you do heroin, you sell heroin to do heroin. You know what I mean? He wasn't one of the
pyramid scheme. That's a little bit of Amway's track.
Yeah, exactly. He was at my level of the pyramid scheme, making like $500 a month kind of situation. And so he got picked up. He went to jail for a little bit, and then he had some shitty stuff happen with this chick. He was in love. She ended up passing away. It's a sad story. Okay. Anyway, he moves in with my grandpa. Yeah. And my Uncle Scott's, me, my grandpa, and my uncle are all the same in the way we're like hermits. Like we think we know a lot about the world, and we just stay at home and think about how fucked up everyone else is compared to us. And Scott is literally like my John the Baptist. Like if I'm Christ, he's my John. He's my uncle who is like, he's like the one leading Jesus. You know what I mean? As I don't agree with everything he says, and every time we talk politics, it gets. I mean, you're talking about the Roswell or the fucking. Who are the top people? The fucking the number one family that everyone talks about all the time. Was it?
The Rothschilds.
Rothschilds. Yeah. You're talking about the Rothschilds. You're talking about the flora and the water. You're talking about all this shit. And I want him to do stand up so bad, but he's like a true hermit, dude. Because he is funnier than most people we see at an open mic. Mm-hmm. It's just he's literally so. If you want to hear this guy talk, you have to go see him in his garage.
A shaman.
Yeah, dude, to pick up all this shit. He's so funny. But
it's so funny, too, when you think about that stuff in the past. Sorry, you're thinking back like 500 years ago when there was like a hermit or like the oracle is just the person everybody goes to.
Yeah, dude.
Gossips. It's like the hermit's just like, it's that dude that lives in the woods. We don't talk to him. And he gets it.
And because everyone goes and talks to that guy, and he's like, he knows everything going on, so he knows exactly what to say to me. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good. Scott's the shit, dude. He, I don't know. I one day, how I see my comedy is my family is so much the reason why I'm funny, because they're all so funny. It's hard to keep up with them because they're so just on, and they're not like repetitive. Like there's some repetitive jokes in the family or whatever, but everyone's always got like something a little bit of fresh to say about the situation. And I want that to be a big part of my comedy. A lot of my comedy is me telling stories about my family, and I want one day for the world to know my family, because I think they need to. Like, and I know everyone thinks that about their family. I'm sorry, your family's not fucking as cool as mine. I can promise you that, dude. I know you think you and your family need a fucking TV show or whatever, but I can promise you my family needs a fucking TV show. But no one in my family would ever do a TV show. No way. You know what I mean? So it's got to be up to me to be a comedian than to shove a camera in these people's faces to get them. But dude. Shout out to my family. Love those guys. Yeah. It's
I was gonna.
All right, dude.
I was hoping that was the applause. I think there's an applause one. There's a soundboard on this thing. I never use it.
Oh, dude, that was so good. Honestly, that might be a decent way to end it, dude.
Yeah, I like it.
I kind of like it.
We can end there.
That's a good cherry on top. I guess I'll plug a few things before we get out of here. Okay. I told you guys about my soon. I mean, by the time when are you guys putting this up?
Soon, probably. I don't know.
Days.
Okay, a
few days or so. Yeah, get the files.
My wife. I'll shout out her Etsy one more time. Etsy.com/songceramic. She's all of you smoke. Check those out. You can follow me at Zach S. Hoyle. You can book me for any kind of comedy show you got going on. I'll drive a little bit. What else do I got going? I don't got shit. Just give me money. I don't really do anything other than comedy. But if you want to Venmo me, you can Venmo me. So
yeah. Oh, we should probably. We need to make sure we're doing this. We should plug. We're both doing a show at the Octopus.
Oh, nice.
When is that?
I love
That's
Octopus.
May 2nd.
May 2nd.
May 2nd at 7:30. I'm
Dude,
not counting down the time or anything, but I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah.
Those guys are so. Have you guys performed there at all?
I've done. I thing like a long time ago there.
Yeah.
And
wait,
it was
were we on the
fucking
same
awesome.
show?
Oh yeah, we were.
Yeah, we did it together. Fucking idiots.
We drove up there together. I'm telling you about that show, dude.
Oh, dude. But that was a fun show. I like performing in that room. It's fun. Cedar Falls has a very good crowd that follows them, like a little audience that follows them. So the shows there are always good. Have you done the open mics, Matt?
I just did the one up there with. We went up there a couple weeks
what
ago.
I should say is man, I went up there a while back. It was pretty cool. You should go sometime. We drove up together. Yeah. I just fucking forget everyone I drove somewhere there.
We're all beneath you, Zach.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My chauffeur, my Uber driver, wouldn't quit talking to me. It was terrible.
Bitch.
He kept talking to me about comedy. I was like, shut the fuck. No, but yeah, we went up there a couple weeks ago for an open mic, and it was a ton of fun. It was definitely a different feel. Feel. Like vibe or something like that. Feel to that room, and then it was different. It was fun to not know anybody. Go up there. Yeah. And it's like pretty it was a fun crowd.
Yeah, and they're good at like building their shows. So like really starting off good, and then it ramps up, and the flow of their shows are always is nice. So yeah, shout out to the who runs that
Alex
show?
Conyers.
Yeah, Alex Conyers.
I think he's the main guy, funny. And then a couple of the other dudes I think sometimes get involved.
Oliver Schmitz and Curtis
Oliver Schmitz and Curtis Parrish.
Matt Anderson.
Yeah, those guys are great.
Yeah,
I love when they come down to the the open mics in Cedar Rapids. Those guys are so funny.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Right.
Well, yeah, no, I appreciate you guys having. If anyone else wants me to fucking be on a podcast, hook up your boy. I like doing podcasts. So.
Oh yeah. It was fun to have you.
Oh, dude, can you figure the fucking soundboard out, dude?
Hey,
there we go.
There's the applause. Yeah. This is a great episode.
Shout out. Yeah, man.